Welcome to today's webinar, How to Choose the Right E-Commerce Platform, brought to you by Adobe Magento and Digital Commerce 360. My name is Katie Evans, and I'm Chief Technology Editor at Digital Commerce 360, and I'd like to thank you for joining us. We have a really great slate of content planned for this webinar, and we hope you get a lot out of it. Just a few housekeeping notes before we get going. We'll take questions at the end of the presentation, but you can ask them at any time using the chat box on the right side of your screen. You can also use that box to let us know of any technical difficulties you're having, and someone will help you out. So let's get started. E-commerce platforms could actually use a rebranding, because today they're actually far more than platforms that just let consumers buy online. Today, they're transforming into central hubs that often offer the vast majority of technology that retailers need to run their businesses. Many enable retailers, as you can see here, to manage their store point of sale systems, inventory and fulfillment operations, B2B channels, advertising, email marketing, and even more. And as you can see here, 66% of Digital Commerce 360's top 1,000 retailers use a vendor to power their e-commerce platform, compared with 34 who do all or at least some of their platform management in-house. And 58% of merchants use a vendor to power their e-commerce sites or apps, according to another technology survey by Digital Commerce 360. And 46% of respondents to that survey listed e-commerce platforms as one of their top 3 technology budget priorities over the next year. 58% said they invested in e-commerce platform technology from a vendor over the last 12 months, and 28% said they're actively looking to switch platforms. 73% of those looking to switch plan to use a platform from a vendor rather than building it in-house. And some more interesting findings from that survey, 65% of retailers choose to use a vendor compared with 35% who selected in-house when actually implementing any new e-commerce technology. 70% choose a vendor because they don't have in-house expertise, 64% do so because vendors are specialized in their fields, 48% found it faster to get a project completed when using a vendor, and 37% said it's actually cheaper to use a vendor than build the technology from scratch in-house. And now on to our first case study. Australian footwear company Ascent Group is made up of some of footwear's most memorable brands, such as Vans, Timberland, the Athlete's Foot, and Platypus. In Australia and New Zealand, the company has more than 430 stores across 10 different retail brands. And as Ascent Group embarked on a digital transformation, it was really important to it to execute its digital vision with the same authenticity as its in-store experience. Together with Magento solution partner eWave, the footwear company realized that the industry was changing its focus from its products to giving its customers better services and experiences. And this influenced its decision to migrate its brand site to Magento Commerce. The appeal, or main appeal of Magento was the platform's open source nature and the flexibility and control it gave them to ensure each brand retained its unique identity. And after replatforming, you can see the, can we go back? You can see the results here. Can we move the slide one back? Okay, there we go. So they had, the company's brand grew, its Platypus brand grew sales 10 times over in 10 months, and it also doubled its conversion rate. In that next slide, you can see here this quote from the Chief Digital Officer of Ascent Group. When we reimagine customer experiences, we can bring them to life because we're not constrained. Magento Commerce lets us bring our visions to life. And we have another case study example with Magento and its new Amazon sales channel, which it rolled out in May 2019. The channel lets Magento merchants integrate their product catalogs with Amazon's marketplace. The feature enables merchants to manage their Amazon listings right from their Magento dashboard. Hoopology, a supplier of hula hoop tubing and accessories, in September 2018 was one of the first to use this. After implementing Amazon sales channel, Hoopology grew its sales 30% as Amazon helped the retailer extend its reach through a new channel with a wider audience than its existing customer base. And on this slide, The Natural Foods also uses Amazon's integration from Magento, and it eliminated the need for the retailer to rely on two separate teams to manage its listings across Amazon, its e-commerce site, and its other channels. And that helped The Natural Foods cut up to 70% of the management time it required in the past to run its own site and its Amazon Seller Central account separately. And now we're going to move on to our interview with Ian Leslie. He's CMO of furniture retailer Industry West. Welcome, Ian. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
So let's start things off by getting a little bit more background about your business. When did you launch? And tell me a little bit more about what you sell. Do you have stores? Do you only sell online?
Yeah, sure. So Industry West, we're actually celebrating our 10th year this year. We've been around about a decade now, as long as Instagram. And we launched, we were e-tail only for our first 9 years. And last year we launched our first brick and mortar retail location in Soho in New York. But yeah, we're primarily online brand, and we are a furniture brand. We sell both B2B and D2C. So on the D2C side, obviously we're selling into homes all across North America. And on the B2B side, I always like to explain that we are not a wholesaler, but rather we're dealing with trade, interior designers, contractors, et cetera. And that could be anyone from a mom and pop coffee shop, opening in Austin, all the way to someone who's sourcing for a new office space for Google or Facebook, or a food court at Yankee Stadium, or Airbnb headquarters, or anything like that, which we've done all those projects.
From the small guys all the way up, right? Okay.
Exactly, yeah. So we consider that all B2B trade clients. And yeah, so like I said, we've been around 10 years, and but e-commerce is still our bread and butter. We don't do really any print catalogs. We'll be doing our first trade show this year. So everything that comes in to either via a web order or a sales rep order is being generated first through a lead generated from our website. Our website is our catalog.
Okay, great. So when you started off 10 years ago, what was your earliest e-commerce platform? And kind of walk me through, what did you use before for Adobe Magento? And why did it kind of not work as you grew?
Sure. So when we launched in 2010, we launched on Drupal. It was pretty basic. We had, I think 30 SKUs at the time, nothing too complex. Inventory was really all managed on the site. We didn't have a big warehouse. We were basically out of a shed sort of thing. So, I mean, there was very little complexity. And at the time, I mean, there was only so much complexity that went into a lot of these websites. We talk about often that we're still sort of, building the planes while we're flying them. A lot of these verticals didn't exist, and the software to support them didn't exist, obviously. But yeah, I mean, there was very little complexity when we were on Drupal. We didn't have kits. We really didn't have to deal with sales tax or really any kind of shipping complexities or anything like that. As we grew and we started to get more complex with both our SKUs, but also where we were housing inventory. So multi-inventory instances. We have 2 warehouses, one on the East Coast, one on West Coast. And then some other feature sets in terms of how we were treating our B2B versus D2C customer base. We realized we needed to grow past Drupal, and we went to Magento. We were on open source Magento, starting in about 2012. And then we were on open source for 5 years and moved to Commerce Cloud in 2017. I guess I'm kind of answering questions 2 and 3 here. But we moved to Commerce Cloud in 2017, and a lot of that decision making was that we were looking to build out features in open source, and we were faced with the decision of, do we kind of want to hack at open source, or do we want to move to Commerce Cloud, and also facing sort of end of life for open source. So we understood that probably 2017 was the right time to make that move, and we did.
Great, yeah. So walk me through a little bit of the specific features of the platform that were really especially attractive to you when you moved from open source into Magento Commerce?
Yeah, so I mean, a few things we were really looking to grow the B2B side of the platform. So some of the different customer groups, some of the ability to segment pricing on the B2B side was important to us. We also were looking at some of just how wish list functionality. We built out what was we call project functionality for our interior designers, but wish list functionality was kind of baked into Commerce Cloud, so that was attractive to us. Also, just baked in integrations that were made a lot easier. And as we continue to go through different versions of Commerce Cloud, whether it's digital, which is our email marketing partner, or it's TaxStar, Shipper HQ, they all integrate really well with Commerce Cloud, and so that was all very attractive to us. So yeah, then additionally—
Do you want to elaborate, just from our conversation when I interviewed you a few months ago, the wish list was really interesting, how a designer could do the whole, like save a whole color palette or a whole theme, right?
Yeah, we were looking to build a function where it was, people could create a project, add products to that project, and then email the project to their clients. So if it's an interior designer who's working for a hotel group and was looking to spec chairs from us, they could use that project building functionality and put a bunch of chairs on it, and then email it to the hotel group directly through our site and say, hey, which of these do you like from Industry West? These are what we're considering. I think
so a pretty robust wish list.
Yeah, exactly. Just to kind of riff on the wish list. And I think we're a little early in that also, because I mean, there's a lot of vendors out there in the furniture space who are looking to kind of build off that online procurement or some sort of online procurement SaaS. And then also we had to make a decision when we decided to go from open source to commerce, whether to use cloud or not, and we did go with Commerce Cloud, and that's, I think, one of the hugest wins for us. I mean, our uptime has been, I mean, in the 3 years we've been on Commerce Cloud, I can count on one hand, the number of minutes we've been down, and we've just had amazing uptime and amazing support from the Magento team. Great.
And yeah, so that kind of moves into our next question, was some of the specific, payoffs from the move and from selecting the newest iteration of the Magento Commerce Cloud. Any other ones besides significant or pretty much 100% uptime?
Yeah, I mean, I think, from year 1 to 2, we saw 40% year-over-year web revenue growth. We saw a 35% increase in our AOV. And I think those are pretty amazing growth numbers. And what I think, while we don't see those numbers all the time, what I think Magento allows us to do is to kind of quickly iterate on what we want our site to be. And then when we hit the right kind of formula, we do see those numbers again. So for the beginning of this year, we're seeing incredible growth numbers for web revenue. And we're seeing amazing, over 100% increases in conversion rates in some segments. So, I mean, I think just Magento as a platform allows us to iterate and make changes to the site relatively easily that we're able to see good metric growth.
Yeah, and going into the next question, did it solve any specific issues or pain points? I know when I interviewed you a while ago, you talked a little bit about Page Builder and how helpful that's been to you. Do you want to elaborate on that? That also gets in a little bit to 7, but or any other really issues it solved or favorite features?
Yeah, I mean, I think Page Builder, the addition of Page Builder has been great. I mean, building our entire blog, we just launched a new blog design for both Industry West and our sister brand, infavorof.com. And the blog is completely built out with Page Builder. Just spinning up kind of one-off sales pages or blog pages or whatever has just been made so much easier with Page Builder, and we're really enjoying working with that. I mean, I think what also it solved for was just made it easier for us to launch a multi-site instance. So we do have our www site. We have a design trade subdomain to the trade, and we have infavorOf.com, which is running off the same code base. And then we're also running our POS off of for Soho off of and for a Florida showroom off of Magento. So I mean, I think I like to tell people that we're not running a website, but we're actually running a platform, and I think that's really awesome.
Great. So yeah, I think we going on to just a couple more questions. We talked about Page Builder. Are there any of the other new features that were recently added to the platform that you've used?
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, I mean, this is relatively recent, but I think the inclusion or the acquisition of RJ Metrics and the fact that we get the business intelligence
Right.
access to business intelligence is great, and it's something we use constantly. I think for the actual admin backend, it's just easier. I mean, I think everything has been made easier and is aesthetically easier for our content team, going from open source to commerce. So I mean, it's hard to put our finger on any one thing. I think we're trying to utilize everything as efficiently as we can, and still realize that there's a host of things that are open to us. I mean, we are using some of the different staging aspects for our design team so that we can stage out changes to the different areas of the website on a schedule. So yeah, I mean, I think there's certainly a lot we're using.
So for the staging part, you can say, I want this promo or specific product to go on sale at this date, this time, rather than having to flip a manual switch.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Right. Okay. Great. And I think that you had mentioned before, you only have a couple people that really need to manage the website, and they don't have to be technical. They're not super. You don't need like a specific developer or tech savvy employee to make changes.
No. So I mean, we have one person who's primarily responsible for our catalog, so uploading new product, pricing, dealing with any sale items, uploading photos and everything like that. And is pretty, I think you need to have a decent understanding of how a CMS works, but no coding is necessary. I mean, we do use, as you talked about earlier in your presentation, I mean, we do use a systems integrator for day-to-day dev work. We don't have in-house devs. We work with a great SI that we're very happy with, and they do a lot of our obviously our backend iterations, our security updates, but then a lot of front end projects for us as well. But yeah, no, I mean, day to day as a content curator, certainly just basic CMS knowledge is really all you need.
Great, and I know you threw out some really juicy metrics earlier, but is there anything else, any other metrics you can share? Conversion, I know you said conversion increased. Any other results?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen generally overall growth everywhere from new trade accounts being created online to traffic we're generating via a number of channels, email, phone, online chat that we're using. Obviously, we're seeing an increase in conversion rate, and we saw a huge increase in our Black Friday, Cyber Monday, 2019 over 18. So I mean, I think just overall we're seeing growth, and like I said, I think it's just part of it is that Magento allows us to iterate, allows us to take advantage of some other SaaS out there that improves the experience even more. And then obviously some of it is some other decisions being made on the marketing advertising side. But yeah, I mean, I think overall we've been very happy.
Great. And any future plans or projects utilizing the platform that are in the works or in the pipeline?
We're going to build out a trade program for our sister site in favor of. We're going to, we're constantly looking to iterate on Industry West. We just launched a new trade login that better segments our trade customers and pushes that to CRM. We just redesigned our tear sheets, and that's going to launch next week. I mean, we're just constantly iterating. So if you come to the site today, you come to the site a month from now, you might find something new.
Great. Well, thank you, Ian. We appreciate you walking us through your experience and the benefits of moving and kind of how you take advantage of the Magento platform. And now I'm going to hand things over, to Pat. Pat Toothacre is Senior Product Marketing Manager for Magento Commerce. Welcome, and he's gonna take it from here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Katie, and thanks, Ian, for all of that context about the Industry West story. I know you've been a customer for a while, and we've had a number of things where you've talked about your experience with Magento, but I feel like I learned something new every single time. So that was a great introduction to some of the value that Magento Commerce can provide. And at Adobe, taking the high-level company view, our mission is really to change the world through digital experiences. From the moment that you wake up in the morning until you go to bed at night, there's media that you consume, ads that you see, apps that you're using, websites that you're browsing and shopping on. And chances are that in every one of those experiences, they were in some way touched by Adobe technology. And so experiences have really been at the core of our business since the company's founding, through both our products that we're transforming how people learn, work, and play and do business, and the power and opportunity in digital experiences. So in the past 10 years or so, digital technology has really rewritten the rules of competition to favor speed and insights and creativity. And it's made it easier and cheaper to start a business, which creates naturally more competition. And so technology's also tipped the balance of power from the retailer to the consumer. So this makes it harder than ever to differentiate and sustain a competitive advantage just with technology alone. So with Magento Commerce specifically, right from the start, back in 2007, we looked to revolutionize commerce by taking a different approach. And that's an approach that was open and oriented towards building a strong ecosystem around our product. It's agile to handle the incredibly rapid change in commerce experiences, especially if you look back over the last decade, and innovative across every facet of commerce to help our customers stay ahead of their competitors and those customer expectations. And so with those principles in mind, Magento Commerce became an industry-leading commerce solution that gives small, mid-market, and enterprise businesses unmatched agility and scalability to go to market in highly differentiated ways. And our vision really is to enable the world's best brands to deliver the world's best commerce experiences. And delivering the world's best commerce experiences requires integrating the end-to-end customer journey. And Magento gives merchants everything that they need to address that full spectrum of commerce challenges. Access to content creation tools, marketplaces, mobile-centric design gives merchants control over how shoppers discover, experience, and interact with their brand. Merchants can manage their product catalogs, merchandising, campaign, promotions, and personalizations, all to tailor that shopping experience. You can create a smooth path to purchase with cart and checkout navigation tools and support for global commerce, while integrated shipping and payment capabilities give shoppers choice in how they pay for and receive their products. And Magento Commerce enables merchants to sell no matter how and where they operate, managing multiple sites in one backend. Ian mentioned this, where they've got a number of different sites and brands and different web properties that they're managing with Magento. Being able to orchestrate multi-channel, omni-channel commerce between online and physical locations, and being able to sell to buyers of all types within one platform. And in addition to all of these and many more great commerce capabilities delivered out of the box, Magento Commerce supports merchants by offering an open and customizable platform with unrivaled flexibility, cloud infrastructure that's purpose-built for delivering high-performing, scalable, and secure Magento stores, and business intelligence tools that power data-driven decision-making that accelerates growth. So by integrating this end-to-end customer journey, Adobe's mission is to meet these challenges to make every moment shoppable and every experience personal. And delivering the world's best commerce experience also requires supporting every touch point, business model, and deployment scenario. So Magento is a comprehensive and flexible platform, but it supports the widest array of commerce scenarios, where we're implemented across a variety of different industries. We're supporting all of your different channels, all of your different types of products. We offer market-leading support for multiple geographies and multiple brand rollouts. We're unique in offering both B2C and B2B capabilities natively within the same product, unlocking hybrid business models that aren't possible with competitors who would have distinct B2C and B2B products. In Magento Order Management, we have a robust solution for omni-channel scenarios, bridging digital transaction with real-world fulfillment. So we believe ultimately that only Magento Commerce provides an open platform that can support your organization's digital commerce evolution for the long haul. So, we heard a little bit about Accent Group. They're a retailer with over 400 different stores. They've got 10 or so different brands, a huge footprint of physical locations, a significant digital presence, all looking to transform the whole customer journey. Ian talked about his journey of growing Industry West with a multi-site implementation, managing all of those different brands, even having a point of sale implementation. And that openness and agility and innovation of Magento really enables the broadest set of use cases in digital commerce. And most importantly, it enables our leaders in digital transformation to innovate in all of these areas from a single platform for faster time to value, lower total cost, and a more coherent customer brand experience than any competitor out there. And we also acknowledge that we can't do it alone, and the openness that was one of our founding principles gives us the power of innovation to back our merchants by helping them get access to a large ecosystem of people to build out key experiences, helping them maximize their efforts with extensions to other experiences that are not necessarily out of the box for Magento ourselves, helping customers feel empowered to scale their commerce up and down market and across different deployments, and helping customers get the best innovation when you have this open and thriving ecosystem of people working together. Talking about the innovation and the openness of Magento Commerce, another one that Ian mentioned was talking about the customized wish list that they have for those creative projects, and being able to take the out-of-the-box capabilities and extend them to whatever your particular need is, whatever your type of customer actually needs out of that commerce experience is something that makes Magento great. And so at Magento, we wanted to understand how merchants that had migrated to Magento Commerce from other platforms are benefiting. So we had a global consulting firm, Stacks, interview 19 Magento customers and 3 partners that had all upgraded to Magento Commerce. They were all sizes, regions, and industries. These merchants were on a mix of Magento 1, homegrown solutions, or competitive platforms. And we were even surprised ourselves by the results that we saw. So on a revenue-weighted average basis, respondents realized a 3-year ROI of 165%, with huge leaps in key metrics like conversion rates, average order volume, and a decrease in downtime. And our customers transacted over $189 billion through the platform last year. And we continue to be the most commonly used commerce platform to the IR 1000 benchmark, along with consistently being named a leader in the industry. And I do quickly also want to touch on the introduction of Adobe Commerce Cloud and how it relates to Magento Commerce. So Adobe's committed to investing in the current offering, which will continue to be called Magento Commerce. This will continue to evolve and remain a market-leading solution for sophisticated, growing merchants from the SMB all the way up to enterprise space. But now we have flexible offerings to help all brands realize the vision of experience-driven commerce. So with Adobe Commerce Cloud, we have a core commerce offering, Magento Commerce, that small, mid-market, and enterprise companies can implement. It's the leader in the industry. The value can be extended by connecting Adobe Analytics to Magento Commerce to get end-to-end customer journey insights. And immersive experiences can be realized by embedding Magento Commerce into every experience delivered by Adobe Experience Manager. And all of this is delivered on top of Adobe Managed Services, which brings together a team of Adobe and Magento experts that are skilled at managing the integrated solution and provides white glove service that focuses on business success. And best of all, this is all one contract, one price, one managed service with the best partners in the business to help you bring your projects to life. So unlike smaller SMB focused platforms where you start and then outgrow the platform that you're on and need to graduate, or legacy enterprise vendors where you have to commit to a massive implementation before you maybe know where you're ready, if you're ready, or where you're going in the future, we have the agility to start with commerce and grow into this experience-driven commerce world. So I won't rehash everything that I've shared already, but hopefully I've shown how Magento Commerce is a community of passionate, experienced people who envision a world of commerce without limits, and they support our world-class omni-channel solution in every way. So, and ultimately our collective purpose really is to ensure that you can deliver whatever vision it is that you imagine, and that vision can become a reality, so that you can ultimately provide customers with the performance and results to help drive your company's success. So with that, I appreciate the time, and I'll give it back to Katie to round us out.
Great, thank you, gentlemen. Good stuff. I appreciate both of your presentations, and really great stuff from Ian as well about how he has been implementing the platform. We do have some questions. I'm going to go ahead and start asking them. This attendee asked, this is for Ian. How are you leveraging the B2B functionality for your designers, resellers, or other types of customers which differ from B2C capabilities?
Yeah, so we a few different things there where we do offer B2B specific pricing. So when they come in via the trade side, they have to fill out a form, and then we switch them over to trade pricing, which is not available to our D2C side. Additionally, we've implemented, we have a lot of tax exempt trade buyers. So when they do put in that tax ID number and it is verified, we auto switch them to a tax exempt customer group on Magento as well. So that makes their lives easier in shopping, not always having to go through a sales rep when they want to take advantage of their tax exempt status, reseller status. Additionally, there are some products that we may only want to sell in large quantities to the B2B side due to lead times. So we can hide those products to the D2C site, but make them available with special copy and notifications for the B2B side.
Okay, great. We have some more questions rolling in here. This one is for Pat. How do you feel Commerce Cloud is better than open source? Do you want to elaborate on
Sure.
some of the advantages?
That's certainly something that comes up a lot. You know, we have this open source offering to help generally smaller, less complex merchants get started with core commerce capabilities. And then we have our licensed commerce software that allows those merchants who have experienced enough growth or added enough complexity to their business that they want to have more out-of-the-box functionality. It's essentially the same underlying set of functionality, plus Magento Commerce has a number of out-of-the-box features layered on top of it. For example, our B2B capabilities, page builder with the content management, plus with the licensed version of the product, you get customer support, a customer success manager. You have the option to deploy on our cloud infrastructure that Ian mentioned. So ultimately, it depends on an individual kind of experience and what your business needs. And if there are certain businesses where open source is, maybe enough for what your business needs. But I'll actually defer a little bit to Ian if you want to add a little bit more context. You went through this specific thing where you launched on open source and were using Magento open source for, I think you said 5-ish years. And so, what was it for you that made it make sense for the business to switch over?
Yeah, I mean, I think like I had mentioned, I think it was there were functionalities we were looking to start to build out that would have been capable on open source, but would have been, what I endearingly will call a hack of sorts, whereas they were sort of baked into commerce. And so that was the primary reason. And then additionally, once, when Commerce started offering the cloud option, we were already looking to move our hosting, and so it all made sense at that time. And it was just time for us to consider what was the change going to be. You know, we knew we were growing too complex to stay on open source. So it was, are we going to stay on Magento? And if so, well, you know, then we just started shopping around, and then we were like, yeah, you know, we're very happy with Magento, and Commerce Cloud offers everything we need, and it can grow with us. And so we kind of made that commitment.
Great. I have another question here. This one's for Pat, but Ian, feel free to weigh in. At what point should a small mid-market customer start to consider adding on Adobe Analytics? Are there key signs? Now, this is this separate from RJ Metrics?
Yeah, that is right.
Okay.
Yep. So baked in as part of Magento Commerce is what we call Magento Business Intelligence. And that is the evolution of the product that Ian mentioned. We acquired, I think it was maybe 4 years ago at this point or so, RJ Metrics, a business intelligence tool, great for ingesting a lot of different data, slicing and dicing it to kind of help understand your business. Adobe Analytics is more similar to a true kind of analytics program like a Google, for example. And when a business may want to, you know, start looking at Adobe Analytics to see if this is something that's right for them, it's ultimately when they come to, I don't know, come to a point in their business where they're looking to be able to really understand all of the deep, detailed data about their customer journey, and getting all of these insights about business operations and health, understanding things like merchandising and marketing performance, being able to see a lot about the site experience. Plus, Adobe Analytics also has the benefit of using a lot of like Adobe Sensei's kind of machine learning and AI-driven tools to help monitor that business health and uncover these deep insights. So I'll admit I'm not the expert on Adobe Analytics, and certainly if there is a thought that maybe it's time to look at something that will give you more deeper insights into your customer journey, certainly worth reaching out to find out more.
Great. I have another question here also for Pat again. Does Magento support merchants that have multiple sites? Ian did kind of talk about this, but can you explain, is the functionality available right out of the box? Is there a lot of integration work that's necessary? Can you elaborate on that a bit?
Yep, yeah, it is available right out of the box. And so, you know, as opposed to some other, in some other instances, some other platforms, if you have different sites, you may have to have different instances of your platform, you know, that you're logging into separately, managing separately, have all of your kind of databases separate across each of those sites. With Magento, you're able to set up multiple different domains and store views, and from just within a single admin, be able to easily switch between those, so you can get whatever the store view might be. Maybe you've got multiple different domains, or maybe you've got separate different versions of the site for different languages if you're an international business. So this is really a pretty significant one to help our merchants who are trying to expand just beyond that single .com property. To be much more efficient and manage all of these within one admin, rather than having to bounce around from a bunch of different platforms or different logins.
Yeah, I can't say enough about how that really has created efficiencies for us on the product curation side. It's very easy.
Okay, great. This question is for Ian. Did you consider other e-commerce platforms when you were choosing? And if so, what criteria were evaluated to determine Magento as your vendor?
Yeah, so we did briefly. I think part of it was what we just talked about in the multi-site instance, and how that was handled, and knowing that we were going to scale up to that. And so that was important to us, to, you know, how each vendor handled that. Additionally, different systems we were looking to bring online, and how those platforms integrated with them. So whether it be on the tax side or shipping side or ERP, CRM side, you know, I think just those integrations, and I think it was almost less what we were at the time and what we knew we wanted to be, and the complexity of what we were building. And furniture is really tricky, not only in terms of shipping, but also in terms of kits and configurable SKUs. And a table could come in 3 boxes and have to be picked from 3 different areas of the warehouse, and all those 3 SKUs have to go into the one simple SKU on the website, and just all that complexity. Knowing what we were building, it seemed that only Magento would be able to kind of provide us the best solution.
Okay. Here's another one. This one's for Pat, but also, of course, Ian can weigh in. My business is about to start a B2C sales motion, but we've historically been B2B. Does Magento Commerce support this kind of transition? Do I need to choose one distribution method over another? It sounds a lot like what Ian has kind of done or gone through.
For sure, yeah, we touched on it a little bit, so don't necessarily need to go into too much depth, but just to give a little bit of context, we've got, I believe currently, if you look at our customers using Magento Commerce, over half of them have some type of B2B aspect to their business, and about 35% of them are hybrid merchants, where they both have B2C and B2B sales motions. And interestingly, because of the way that, especially more so for the B2B side of things, which traditionally is a little bit behind in terms of kind of adopting digital technologies, as we get more and more into B2B businesses looking to provide that kind of B2C-like experience of easy self-service, kind of go onto the website transaction experiences, we're seeing that over half of our pipeline looking into customers that are considering Magento do already have that hybrid business model where they want to have both B2C and B2B aspects to their business. And that also goes back to the multiple sites bit and managing all of that from within one admin, where a number of competitors, they may have both B2C and B2B platforms, but they truly are separate platforms that have different UIs, different support paths, different logins, all of that, which again kind of goes back to the efficiency and time spent to really understand the differences, and you're managing 2 totally different things.
Great. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up now. Thank you, everyone. I think you got a lot of good questions in there and some good presentations, some good information about the Adobe Magento platform and Ian's experience. So thank you, everyone, for attending today. Please do take our post-webinar survey. It only takes a couple minutes, and it helps guide us to the topics that would be most valuable to you. Thank you, everyone.